stop that. And on that note,
I love you.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Humanized. Today I'm very excited. We have Ericka Simone, Director of PR and Digital Media. Wait a minute, you're the owner of ESPR Media?
Yes.
You're an owner now?
Yes, I am an official owner as of
Life Flex.
Life
Flex.
Flex. An LLC. So we're going to go into
So you're legitimate.
I'm legitimate. We are trademarked and legitimate. Yeah, I'm really excited.
I'm so excited. Okay, let me stop because I got excited before I even finished introducing her. So Ericka is here not just because she's an amazing person, but because you guys are quite literally looking at two extreme opposite sides of the sexuality spectrum. I am pansexual. You guys know this by now if you've been watching the show or the podcast that I'm on. By the way, I'm Blue Toulouseman for those of you who are new to the show.
Hey,
this
Blue.
Is where the lower third comes in. Blue Toulouseman, Ericka Simone. And so I'm pansexual and I'm also a very sexual being. Mm-hmm. And Ericka is asexual.
Yes.
Like when they talk about the sexuality spectrum, we're literally the bookends, and like most of the world is somewhere in the middle.
In the middle, yeah.
Which is hilarious. So this is why I wanted to have you on, because I think a lot of people, we call the show Humanized. We want to humanize asexuality because
yes, we do.
A lot of people don't even believe it exists.
Mm-hmm.
I will do a disclaimer though, and I have a disclaimer that I have to read because we have to be responsible. Disclaimer, for those of you who are watching the show, every aromantic asexual person is different and each person has unique experiences when it comes to relationships. What Ericka will be sharing with us today are her personal lived experiences, and she in no way speaks for all aromantic and asexual people. So I had to say that not just for them, but also for you to take the pressure off.
You know,
you're not the token who's speaking for everybody, you're just speaking for yourself.
And also, I just want to have everyone, maybe see a little bit of what they're going through and maybe humanize it for themselves and start to do the work and get into it a little more.
I can't explain to you, just how excited I am.
You were hyped last week.
I was so hyped.
You were so excited that I agreed to this.
The way this came about was so organic because I was on the Twitters.
Yeah, we were on Twitter.
I've been doing Twitter lately.
Yeah, I'm back on the Twitters.
Me too.
Wow.
And I was on Twitter talking about love and sex and romance, all the things that I love.
All the things.
And then something happened, and then you around the same time tweeted, I'm so happy that I'm aromantic and asexual because I don't have to do none of this. And I was like, asexual? Who doesn't like the sex? In that moment, I was like, wait.
So,
we need to unpack what that means because I might be making an assumption about Ericka based on that title, right?
So a little bit of an assumption. So it's, we start on two different sides.
Right.
I'm more closer to asexual, but I wouldn't necessarily claim fully asexual. I actually enjoy and engage in sexual activity at times. But
so you're borderline asexual.
You would call that greysexual, where they have little spectrums as they as your levels of engagement with sexuality and attraction kind of go. And
actually, I think you sent me.
I sent you a couple. No, of really links.
I'm gonna do you a solid. I'm actually gonna read what they are because here's the thing that's so interesting about sexuality. Mm-hmm. We wanted to be gay and straight and bi. Yeah. Right. Everybody just wants it to be gay and straight and bi, and
it's never that simple.
It's never that simple. But there's also the difference between sexual orientations and also sometimes how you engage too. Right.
Yes.
Some of this isn't just about are you attracted to a man or a woman or something.
Yeah.
Some of this is about how you engage regardless of what you're attracted to.
Amen.
So greysexual, it says how you mate. That's a great way of thinking about it. Greysexual is interesting because when I read the definition, I was like, I think I might know some people who are greysexual. Mm-hmm. So greysexual for you guys, and this is going to be another episode where we have pop-ups.
Yeah, okay.
So we're going to have a notebook and read.
Okay.
Greysexual, grey romantic is meaning someone who experiences very limited sexual or romantic attraction. They may experience sexual or romantic attraction rarely or at very low intensity. Mm-hmm. Now, the funny thing is, on this list of 5 different kinds of ways that people relate, and I will provide the list that Ericka gave us because I want people to do research for themselves.
Yeah, we definitely want to give you the tools.
I actually used to tell people, but I stopped because it was confusing them, that I'm demisexual.
Yeah.
And people were like, Blue, we just figured out what you being pansexual was. Please don't throw nothing else at us.
There's so many things.
There's so many things. Why can't
so
you
many
be
things.
a normal girl? So for me, demisexual, for those of you who don't understand, and I'm looking at the camera right now because I want you guys to look into my eyes right now. There's a lot of you out there that are demisexual, and when I read this definition,
you don't even know
you're going to realize that I'm speaking about you.
Yeah.
Demisexual means someone who can only feel sexually or romantically attracted to a person they already have a strong connection with. Now, for me, the reason why I realized I was demisexual was twofold. When I meet somebody who's very attractive, I don't care. People always ask me, like, I've dated people who have been like hinted, that person's kind of out of your league. I was like, oh, if you say so, I don't care.
If you feel like.
And the irony is, people who are very attractive, because I'm apathetic to it, they are so confused, a little bit miffed.
Yeah.
They lean closer because they're like, why are you the only one who's not fawning over me? And then we end up smashing, right? So that's how, for me, I might be demisexual. Because everybody's reacting to people, and I'm just like, you cool. And then when I like them, suddenly they're sexy as hell because I like them as a human, and we have an emotional connection.
So there's where I thank you for pulling that up. I approach all people very neutral in attraction and, you know, especially sexuality. I'm not thinking about people in ways of like dating when I just want to walk up. It's very human. It's very friendly. Hey, how are you doing? I'm Ericka. Not really thinking about, you know, crushes and stuff like that.
Right.
Where that comes into play for me is where we might spend some time, you know, texting or talking about music or talking about music business related things.
There's no intention?
No. You know what? I can feel intentions on my end when men come to me.
Right.
So I tend to try to neutralize that. And usually it's, I don't have intentions. It's usually on site for me. The last one that I had, he knew and I knew, and that was that. And that was that. You
knew what though? Because we want to hear how you think. You knew what when you saw him?
All right. So walking in to a music convention, really great time. I saw him speaking on the panel, and he looked at me, and we knew that we were going to have some amazing sex at some point.
So I was not expecting someone who is borderline asexual and aromantic to say that you on site knew that you were going to smash.
We knew. And here's the thing, again, it's not.
That's why you shouldn't assume.
Yeah, exactly. The greysexual comes in.
Right. This is
where the greysexual comes in. I still engage and I still have attraction too, but it's certain people, it's certain energies, it was certain times. I can't really describe what happens when I feel it for somebody when it happens.
Right.
Because it's very rare. It's very rare. I actually, usually if I have that feeling, I tend to neutralize that as well because I don't want to engage in relationships. I don't feel like dealing with dudes. I don't feel like, I don't really
so
like.
When you watch, so here's the thing that I know for me, being demisexual means 75% of the people that I've dated were friends first.
Yes. Because
being for where I am on the spectrum, I have to feel a connection. It almost feels like there's an overlap there where you two have to feel some kind of connection first.
I have to feel some type of connection in a physical sense, you know, like an on-site that I was saying. And also you have to be in the text messages. We have to be talking. We have to be clicking there very, very hard for me to, start to have the feelings and start to crush a little bit. And even then I watch my crush levels because I'm like, you're a grown woman. You're either going to go get the D or you're going to...
So I have a question about crushing. And here's the thing about attraction that I think is interesting is there's romantic attraction where you're like, yo, I want to like kind of maybe do life with this person. And then there's sexual attraction where you're like, I want to smash my genitals against them.
And then leave, yes.
Which one do you find yourself naturally, when it does happen, which one is it? Is it in your heart or your groin?
It's in my heart first, and then I'm a dummy. I'm one of those ones that feels it. Yeah, feelings, dummy. Why would you feel things?
Don't judge. No. We don't do self-judging.
You know what? We're not going to receive that.
Supple, right?
Yes.
You're having a human connection.
A human connection to my emotions. For the last time, it was definitely a connection, emotional feeling, emotional connection. We were talking about music immediately and we clicked, like immediately.
So music is the way to your heart.
Ooh, don't tell the secrets. It's one of the many ways to my heart.
It's literally your business.
It's my business, it's my life. It's been the core of my being for the last probably 25 years. So at a music convention with a well-known person.
That's foreplay for you.
Yeah.
If you're already at a music convention, that's your part.
I walked in and I was like, wow, look at all the art and look at all, is that Universal over there? I think I see Universal table. I'm going to go and talk to them,
I love that.
Panels, and there they were, and I saw them and they saw me. And
you know what's so crazy is that, like, I think people think being asexual, gray romantic, even demisexual, they think all these things are like weird, but I think as we talk, there's going to be somebody who's going to be watching this.
Yes.
Who's going to be like, I always wonder why I only fall in love every 5 years. And they're like, oh, there's a reason for that. Or I wonder why I keep dating my friends. Oh, there's a reason for that.
That one, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's why I wanted you so badly on here. Yes. Because I think that even though I joke that we're the extreme opposites, and let's be honest.
Yeah, we are.
We are the extreme opposites.
But there's a lot of intersections. We got a lot of intersections.
There's so much overlap, even as two extremes, right? Yes. So that means if I can find, as the hot butt on the other side of the spectrum, if I can find places to overlap with you, imagine what regular people in the middle
are going to be.
They're definitely going to be overlapping with you.
And that's what I hope the goal is that we start to reevaluate how we see attraction, how we see sexuality. I think I tweeted at you the other day. I hope we look at desexualizing in a way, the way we look at decolonization, the way that we look. Sometimes, I don't.
Desexual. I like some sex though. Girl.
I know. Okay, so okay.
By the way, this is not tea, guys, or whiskey.
This is actual tea.
That's tea. Ericka has tea.
Yeah.
I have Pedialyte because I'm recovering from food poisoning. So if you see me sipping and some purple, it's
girl.
Salute. To healing. Salute. No, like I think. That for me, sex is so awesome.
Okay, so no, not
desexualizing.
No, not the physical act of sex.
Okay, I like sex
but the
a lot,
actual
Ericka.
like projection of sex onto other. Like I go out and I have a nice set of boobs, so like I wear a tank top and you get the men and the looking, and I hate that. I don't like it. No. I actually
I'll be honest, sometimes I like it.
I know you see. Okay, so I just started the makeup, the dressing up. No, I was a tomboy growing up. I was a hardcore tomboy. Didn't wear makeup.
What era did you grow up in, though?
So I was born in San Diego, raised in LA.
No, but what era of our culture was it? Like
90s. Oh, I'm a 90s. Oh, I'm 90s teen.
Let me tell you something right now, and not to take away your lived experience, but when you say tomboy in the 90s, man, everybody was a tomboy. TLC.
Where? Okay.
Aaliyah.
Okay.
So like the culture was foreign.
I don't know. Over in Ladera Heights in Inglewood, everybody was being pretty and wanted to wear Tommy Hilfiger and all that stuff. Everybody was, and a lot of people were wearing makeup. I wasn't really allowed to do that.
Right.
I was raised in a household where arts, education were the focus. So
nice.
I got really lucky. You realize it when you get older. So like I don't want to say the set of values are different because I don't think so, but it was my vision and my goal was different from an early age. And a lot of what I feel, when we get to demisexuality, greysexuality, also I can feel that was rooted also as a young kid as well. So growing up, I no makeup. I just started wearing makeup maybe like 5-10 years ago on a reel. I was like 27 when I first bought the Bare Minerals, and that was it.
You just mentioned something about growing up. And I was just thinking about how privilege works, right? We all have access to some sort of privilege.
Yes.
The fact that we live in America,
privilege,
and have indoor plumbing is a form of privilege, right?
Is.
And I'm from where I'm from. That's not always the case, right? And so I think a lot of times people who are straight and cisgender, even if they're black or they're a woman or whatever, they think, well, I'm a black woman. I don't have any privilege. And then they realize that even as a woman of color,
there are certain...
The fact that the fact that you're the default when it comes to sexual orientation and sexuality is a privilege. And you don't have to figure it out.
Think about that.
Because you're the default. And so for me, I always think about how a lot of times when I'm talking about sexuality, the people who I have the hardest time talking to about trans rights are black women.
Yeah.
Because black women are so used to thinking and feeling and being told that we're the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah.
To think that there's a trans woman who has an extra thing that you don't have, it blows our minds.
It's a whole other world.
It's a whole other world, like below the surface of what we think is the bottom. So even in that spectrum, like thinking about being gray romantic or asexual or aromantic, you weren't the default. So how did you, as a child or a teenager or an adult, how did you even figure out what to call what you were feeling? Because like I said, the people who right now who up until they saw this episode,
they didn't even have
didn't even know that they were the same thing that you were.
I didn't really have a name for it. I just knew me personally at an early age that children, we had this discussion about children. Children was not an option for me.
You didn't want kids?
Nah, I knew. Maybe if it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. And if I felt some way, I'll adopt. And it still stands. I'm maybe like 3 or 4 years old after I got the thorough talk from my mother, which is also a really huge thing. People weren't getting talks. I was getting a lot of straight up, here, Ericka, this is what it is, and this is how we're going to grow up into the future so that you know how to handle these things. So after the whole life talk, I knew that, boys are cute and all, but it just, it presents a certain set of problems that I'm not really, yes, sex is fire. And when I do make it pop, it can pop. I make it pop when it make it pop. When we make it pop, it pops. But, you know, it's in certain serious ways after the attraction, after building a friendship. So, yeah, early, 5 or 6, didn't really have a name for it. Knew while all my friends were crushing and having boyfriends when they were like 9, 10, 11, 12, I clutching my pearls.
You weren't crushing? Crushing
No.
is just so fun when you're young.
You know, like I had maybe like, there was a little, you know, I'm not gonna say his name. He was cute when I was 13, you know what I mean? And then there was like Marquise, who was,
oh, you giving names. Okay.
oh, I
talk
did
about
drop it.
it.
You know, hi Marquise, wherever you are. I hope you're all right, fam. I'm sure he's doing great. But he was really, but even then I didn't chase. I don't chase it. I don't pursue it.
Right.
If it happens, it happens. If
Right.
it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not really pressed to pursue unless the other one pursues me. Once you show some type of interest, then maybe I'll respond. And that's why that one interaction with that other person at the music convention immediately on site. So, and I can actually trace back most of my sexual activity to on site only. No Tinders. That freaks me out.
On-site.
No dating apps. Walk in, I see him, he sees me, and eventually we'll get to each other.
I was looking at the different other kinds of sexuality that I didn't know exist. Mm-hmm. It's so funny.
Because we're learning every day.
Yeah, it's so funny because I think I don't know a lot in this world, but the few things I know, I make it a point to know them well.
Yes.
And so I think because I only talk about things that I know well, when I tell people I don't know what that is, they're like freaked out. They think that I'm some like know-it-all who walks around with an encyclopedia strapped to me.
Well, see,
and so like it's always, I actually love learning, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I learned was a term called reciprosexual, right?
Yeah.
That one touched my heart because I always tell people I only like who likes me.
Thank you.
And apparently
It's a thing.
that's a thing. That's called reciprosexual.
Reciprosexual.
I'm a pansexual, demisexual, reciprosexual. Look,
got levels to the levels to the levels to the levels to
my
the
mind is getting blown right now. Like I literally, if you don't like me, if I don't feel like you think like I'm bomb, it's not fun for me anymore.
If you're not absolutely crazy for it, if you're not making it clear, then I am gonna do the same. The energy that you give me is what I give back every time. So. I think that a lot of...
Are you a little reciprosexual too?
I'm reciprosexual. They had sapiosexual going on, which is also attracted
is that real?
I don't know. You know the internet.
Sapiosexual.
Just intelligent. I think it would be tied into demi. Again,
yeah,
you have to have an attraction.
And for a lot of people, this is a meme, right? This is where we have to separate between memes
and
versus
real
reality.
life.
I'm going to need someone who's a sexuality expert
Yes.
to let us know if sapiosexual was real, because sapiosexual was a meme that got really, really popular. But it sounds like just a prettier way of saying demisexual. Mm-hmm. And for those who don't know, sapiosexual is someone who's supposed to be attracted to intelligence. But like, who's actively going around saying, I want to find me a nice dummy?
Exactly.
So,
This the goal is to find somebody with some intelligence.
Yeah, so I need somebody to tell us if we don't know if sapiosexual is real, guys. So if you've been calling yourself sapiosexual,
check in with us.
Or just call yourself demisexual and join my team. We're recruiting at all times.
We're recruiting, it's a solid team
if you keep on dating your homies, you might be a demisexual like I am. That's like the number one like warning sign. I have a question though, because you said that you would meet guys, and apathy would more often than not be the first reaction. So for me, when that happened, there was a moment in my life where I was meeting men and they were cool. I didn't know I was a demisexual or a pansexual back then. I just was like, why don't I like this cute boy?
Yeah.
And so I started experimenting, right? I started dating women. My first love was trans.
Yeah.
So have you ever experimented with anything other than men?
Questioned my own sexuality. I've questioned, yes, completely.
What was the answer? If this is too personal, you can have a safe word and say pineapple.
I've pineapple, cinnamon.
Yeah, if you yell pineapple in the middle of the show,
I'm okay with this. Everybody, there's a certain level of fluidity.
Over here, like when you go to memory, you look away.
Yeah, you see what I'm doing right now. I'm thinking
like you're having like a cycle, like it's coming over your body.
Like you see, it's going back. It's the flashback. You know that flashback scene in my brain. But I've experimented mostly, and I started thinking about this because people used to think I was gay. People used to assume because I didn't have boyfriends or because I wasn't really, or like really actively.
Right.
Yeah, they used to think, I'm like, nah, that's not it either. I'm not sure. Again, we didn't have the words. That's not what it is, but it's definitely not gay. There was, again, a moment with somebody who was on site, again, and I felt comfortable with her, and we took those steps. And even then, I was like,
I don't want any more vaginas in my face.
No,
Thank you.
I didn't even get down there, fam. I couldn't even get down there. I was like, man, this is not.
So if you can't even get down there, you're not gay.
No.
Like,
if you ain't licking the box, then you ain't in the team. So I understand.
Wait, did we just?
I'm sorry.
Quote Roddy Rich? No.
Yeah.
If you're not licking the box,
then you're not on the team. So like with respect to that,
yeah.
I know
so
my privilege.
You're straight, gray romantic, borderline asexual.
Yeah, we're gonna go mostly hetero.
Mostly hetero. You're gonna get some DMs if you say mostly.
I know.
Hetero.
Somebody's gonna be sending me something. After this one, it's gonna be wild. Definitely gray. Not completely A, because again, there are levels. I do enjoy sex, but not like that. When I do have sex, when it's rare and it's few and far in between, it's amazing.
Right.
But outside of that, I'm not one to, random hookups. Never random hookups.
Oh, God,
never one-offs. Wow. Even a one-off turned into like at least a fuck buddy. You know what I mean? We were going on.
I'm surprised that you would have a fuck buddy. Because
yeah, that was the one time. It was a situation where, again, on site. Wow, okay. I'm not gonna say his name. We hooked up once, and I didn't really. I knew immediately. I was like, I don't know. That gray started kicking in, where it's like he's great and all,
right?
But I don't know how I'm feeling. But and I was feeling some type of way. You keep it in the DMs, you keep on the text message. Hey, so what are you doing?
Have you had to come out
to parents or?
No, I'm just saying. Like I would think gay people have to come out like when they cross the spectrum, and when they say LGBTQ plus, A. Yeah, I and A. You're part of the plus, right? And so, like,
you know what? No,
is there a coming out process even though you're heterosexual?
No, there is not. That's a whole lot of privilege, and I'm gonna make that very clear. At the end of the day, I'm still cis passing.
Right.
I'm still mostly hetero.
Right.
I still walk through, and I can feminize, and I can perform femininity, and it's respected as such. Still have all functioning plumbing and so it's not a coming out for me. It's not really tied into that type of. If anything, I want to be desexualized and kind of removed from it all because I just don't engage in a lot of it.
But how would you explain it to a partner though? Because I would think. Here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Yeah. And I'm actually this is the part where I'm gonna go back to reading some stuff, some literature.
Yeah.
One of my friends, when I told him that I was gonna interview you, I asked. I was like, what would you want me to ask? And one of my friends mentioned, why would someone who's asexual or even gray romantic or whatever, why would they want to have a relationship at all then if they're not that pressed? And so I looked it up and it said a lot of people outside of sexual attraction, they want to have sex because they want to conceive children. They
read that one.
Yeah, they want to bond with their partner.
Express emotional feeling.
They want to experiment.
Experimenting, expressing emotional feeling for somebody is me, and that's definitely where I fit in. If we even get to the point, so here's the thing, if we even get to the point where I want to bang you, you've already passed the demisexual test.
Right.
So we've had the discussions, hey, I'm not really attracted to anybody, but I'm feeling you, and I need you to understand that this is important.
But here's the pushback, though. Before I'm going to stop.
I'm with it.
The pushback is, and I want you to sit with this for a second. Marinate on this one. If someone is gray romantic and they meet someone like me, who's very sexual,
yes,
and who wants to be touched and felt
on
all the time, but sit with this. Is it fair to the partner to know that you're having sex because you want to bond, but not because you want the sex? Because desire is for someone like me. Okay. Feeling desired
is important.
Is very important.
Okay.
Knowing that you're not doing it due to desire, but more so to, in my mind, appease me.
Yes. Okay.
I would find insulting. So do you guys only date other people like you? Like how do you? Because I would be in my feelings.
The assumption is okay.
I'm gonna pull you out. Let me pull. What you mean you don't want that out of you? Okay. What you mean you don't want all this?
Here's the thing. Once I approach a relationship with somebody, it's already assumed that I want you on every level physically, and that I want to please you and I want to touch you.
Right.
And I want to
Sometimes.
have that. Yeah, no, whenever. Once I'm in a relationship with someone, once that connection is there, it's on site, wherever, whenever. It's beautiful. My quintessence, it's fire.
So in a relationship,
once I'm
you
in
suddenly
the
become more sexual?
I actually become the only type of sexuality that I experience or like feel is when I'm in the relationship. When we've done the reciprocation of energy, once we've established, hey, you know, I don't really feel attraction to everybody, but I'm attracted to you, so let's work on this.
Right.
I identify with some of the tenets of asexuality, but once I'm comfortable with you, I want 3 to 4 times a week, possibly, you know.
So pause, Ericka. Pause, 'cause I can hear my audience. Girl, that's more than people. Some people who are not.
Yes, I know.
So,
I know.
And this is where it's important to say
yes.
that every asexual person is different. Because I actually met an asexual person one time who wanted a partner, and they said, "I want somebody to be alone together with." They
want the non-touching, the non-physical.
Even in a relationship.
Yeah, that's not me. That's not, my level is different. No, once I've made the decision, once I feel safe enough, once I have, if I'm feeling it and we're feeling it together, if it's all in. It's all in. But again, it's an on-site, one-off, every 5 years. Then I'm usually in a long-term relationship with that person for like 3 to 7 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I do long terms. I don't do one-offs. I don't do short terms.
Well, you do long term because you're not sure when the next bus is coming. People always say you can catch another bus. You don't have a lot of buses.
No, I don't have. I got like 2 or 3. I'm on the bus taking long rides, and then when I get off, ain't no more buses. So that's what the issue is for me. I never saw my sexuality as something to flaunt. Never saw it as like something to, I don't know. I just could never see myself banging a whole lot of people. I
so
knew
question
for me
about that. About, you said you never saw yourself sleeping with a lot of people.
Yeah.
When's the last time that you dated? Look into my eyes, Eric.
I broke up with my ex in 2018.
Oh, girl. Not that far.
Yeah, it's not that far. And I've been spending that time healing. So I've had maybe like a, what do you want to call that? A rebound. I've had my rebound. And then after that, even right now, I'm thinking like, it's maybe time for him to go. Might be time for him to go. It's spectacular, the on-site, dude.
Right.
Music convention, dude.
But you're not in a relationship with him.
No. No.
So, okay. So I literally felt the Holy Ghost of commitment issues jump off your body. Girl, okay. Look into my eyes, Ericka.
There are other issues. There are other issues that would keep the both of us from being, and I don't want to be in anything right now because the last one that I pulled out of in 2018 was pretty low-key devastating. Yeah.
Have you ever experienced any sort of issues in your relationship that you can actually attribute to being borderline asexual as opposed to regular everyday? And I'm saying regular flippantly, right?
Because what is regular any?
Yeah, but like, have you ever been like, oh, this is something specific to the way that I move as far as my attraction and sexuality, and not just everyday happenstance in another couple's relationship?
I actually have the opposite issue. Once we're in a relationship, it's very clear that I want X, Y, Z, A, B, C. I want the attention, I want the sex, and I want it from you. Maybe I think, and it might be because I pull back from relationships and I don't have a whole lot of them, that when I'm in one, I want to be up under you all the time.
Oh, so you're the extremist who goes feast or famine.
Not feast or famine.
So it's nothing, or you burrow a hole up their booty
burned
hole.
all the way up. All the way up.
What's your birthday?
I'm a Leo, August 11th.
Oh, so here's the thing. I love Leos.
I love you too.
Here's the thing about Leos, right?
Evolved.
Everybody knows that I'm into astrology. Everybody's crazy.
Everybody got a little bit of.
But the Leo kind of crazy tickles me.
And it's a hilarious crazy.
You guys scare so many people. Not scared.
And
I'm tickled by it.
I'm not even trying.
The Leo crazy is I'm so one of my first love was Leo. and he
good
was
choice.
I was tickled until I wasn't.
Yeah.
What is your end game? Because I know that for me, right, and this is actually how you and I connected on this. Mm-hmm. I was waxing poetic about how I had been a commitment phobe for a long time, but didn't know it.
Yeah.
A lot of women out there, in particular women, we think we want a relationship because we're supposed to. But then we intentionally pick people who are emotionally unavailable so that we can pretend we want a relationship while not actually having to have one. I did that during, so the 10 years that I call my whole phase.
That is amazing.
Was really me being emotionally unavailable, but not wanting to call it that. So just blaming it on the people that I was picking. But I was intentionally picking them because I knew it wasn't going to work subconsciously, right?
That's amazing.
Shout out to therapy.
Okay.
So,
shout out to therapy.
So my question is, when people say, Blue, why are you single? I don't say it's because, I just can't find the right person. I said, I'm single. I was single on purpose.
Yeah.
I was intentionally sabotaging my relationships or picking relationships that had no legs whatsoever, so that I could be, first of all, I'd be the healthier of the two people.
Yes.
I pick people subconsciously who need
that
to be
you
fixed.
need to fix and help.
So that I was so busy fixing them, didn't have to focus on me.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, when it didn't work, I could cry and have all the romantic melodrama.
And
but knowing deep down, I wasn't ready my damn self.
You wasn't trying to do that anyway.
So I've only actually, honestly and sincerely been ready for a relationship for about 8 weeks now.
Wow. Welcome back to the game. Welcome back.
I've been emotionally available.
The game ain't ready for you right now, actually.
You know what? There's several exes who are going to be watching this. Who are going to be like, hey, boo. What you mean 8 weeks?
8 weeks? What you mean 8 weeks?
I'm going to look at this camera. Don, is it okay if I look at this camera? If I dated you before December 1st, 2019.
That's an exact date.
No, I woke up on December 1st, like suddenly emotionally available.
Whew, there it is.
If I dated you before December 1st, 2019, I apologize. I chose you because I knew it was going nowhere. And part of Humanized is playing penance. And this is me confessing my sins to all the exes. I have several exes that have been in my DMs recently who are wondering why I'm not doing that dance. The dance was only fun when I thought
that we were going to be
it was going somewhere.
Yeah,
but now that I know I'm full of shit, I'm like, it's not fun no more.
It's not fun, and it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of energy.
This is all to say that my honest end game now is marriage and a child.
Okay.
My honest end game.
And that's what we were talking about.
So my question is, and I want you to reflect the same level of, I just dragged myself, right? So I want you to self-drag.
Okay, I will.
If you had to self-drag and self-diagnose, right?
Amen.
What is your sincere, honest, best case end game for what your life looks like when you're 50 years old? For me, it's a husband and a baby. How about you? Like, what does that look like? Honestly, not what you think you want, but what you actually want.
All right. So I think partnership or marriage was always, it's always an option. Like I said earlier, we were talking about if I had kids or if I wanted kids, it'll happen. Or if it doesn't, I'll adopt. It's the same way with marriage. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Hopefully when I'm 50, my career will be popping and I will have so many things. That's where my end game is. I want to be somewhere in my personal life with myself. I want my relationship with myself to be at its peak when I'm 50, when I'm grown, and where the end game is to love myself the most and then find somebody who can love me and keep up with it.
Do you actively want that person, or is it only if it happens naturally? You're not pressed?
It only happens naturally, not pressed. I could never use match services and people suggesting and Tinders and things. No,
so at 50, if you are popping, right? You are popping in your career. Everybody know your name, and you are extra fulfilled, but you don't have a partner. You'd be okay with that?
I'd be absolutely fine with that. Yes.
That's beautiful, and we are so opposite.
Yes, amen. I mean, it's okay.
No, but I love that, though. I actually love that we're so different. Like
I love this.
I think a lot of people want to be around only folks who want what they want.
That echo chamber.
But there's something so beautiful about knowing that thing that I've now recently, over the past 8 weeks, it's so new, girl. So new. I feel like
feel it out slowly.
I feel like a baby giraffe. Like,
wobbling.
Like my friends, I told my mother this recently. I was like, Mom, I think I want a baby. She like dropped the phone and she caught the Holy Spirit, right? So like, it's so amazing to know though that like, it's not necessary for everybody, and that's okay.
I want everyone to know, if there's anything that you take away from this, that relationships are not mandatory. The only relationship that you need to have is with yourself first. You will not have a functional relationship with anyone else until you learn how to love yourself first. That's the main one. If you can find someone, if you're lucky enough, like me, because this is where I have to stand, if I'm lucky enough to find someone who shares the same path as me, I'll take that path with them. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does work, amen. I'm about to have the flyest wedding y'all have ever seen. You're invited.
Yay.
And even with that, no kids, because, just the way I'm feeling right now, it's not, it was never there for me again. If I feel some type of way, I'll adopt. But I'm more concerned about what my finances and what my money and what this ESPR project.
So are you a money sexual? Is that
I am a money sexual. I'm a career-osexual. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where the jobs is at, where the careers is at. Who needs booking? Does anybody need booking?
Wait, did Ericka just look at every single camera?
Yes, I did. I'm a
Ericka just
all three, ESPR.
Shout out that we have last episode I said we had 2 cameras. We leveled up. We have 3 cameras.
Oh my God.
At some point, it's just gonna be a bubble of cameras.
Hey, that means because your game is going up, girl. That means that you real life.
The show has evolved very quickly.
It's been amazing to watch too.
Oh, thank you.
It's been amazing to watch.
Where are you from originally?
So born in San Diego, raised in LA.
You're a West Coast girl.
Yeah, I'm Southern California till I die. I'm claiming everything from Tijuana to Santa Barbara. Love it.
Look, to me, California is one big American Mexico.
American Mexico. This is Mexico.
I was on Twitter one day, and now that I do the Twitters, please follow me on Twitter because I've now discovered Twitter like 10 years after the fact. I'm so late to this party.
No, it's okay.
One of the things I saw.
You didn't miss much.
No, Black Twitter is the wave. I had to be in the wave.
It is actually
but
really.
On Twitter, there was a guy, and there was this debate about all the things that Texas has taken from Louisiana and Mexico and Tennessee and claimed as their own, like barbecue and like a lot of things, right?
A lot of classic things.
This guy rolled up. I think you were in that thread. He was like, "What did we take from Mexico?" I said, "Sir, you're in Mexico.
We are actually
Texas
physically everything west of Texas. Maybe actually Texas too. Don't forget the Alamo.
Right. I'm like, Texas is Mexico. You took the whole, and he was like, "Oh, you're right. Like
we in Mexico too.
But
2.0.
He was like, and you're a point.
Yeah.
And so it's so interesting to me because the reason why I asked where you're from is because regionally, I've heard that a lot of people in the Texas area, a lot of people down south, they have a very marriage-minded society as opposed to the coastal. Like I'm from the East Coast, from the West Coast. Okay, you make more sense in the coast, right?
Okay, yeah.
In the South, somebody's grandmother is watching this and cringing.
Like, what's that baby doing?
I guess
we need to find that baby a man right now.
I want to ask you, as a Black woman, where people were the first thing they ask a Black woman who's attractive and successful is, where's your husband, where are your babies? Do you have any pain or annoyance when people act as if you are handicapped in some way for not wanting those 2 things that you're supposed to want?
I haven't gotten it yet. Amen. Thank you. God, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, whoever. I have not really experienced that. The family that I do connect with and communicate with, they know.
How do they know you came out?
This is what it is. When I have a boyfriend, I bring him to them, and they judge. And when I don't have one, and it's only been like 3 that I've introduced to that squad. So they know that I'm not really pressed for that. I don't really get a lot of when I explain what my career trajectory is and what my experience have been in my personal life. People immediately understand why I don't have kids and a husband because my life as a public relations and media specialist to be able to bounce around, to be able to move, to be able to live in New York for those 4 years, in DC where I think we connected for the first time, and having that ability to just on site or whenever travel, go, move, plan, book, create incredible strategies, go do C&H Sugar float for the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade, all these things I would not be able to accomplish, I don't think so, or it would be a lot harder if I had a relationship and children. And I think of a lot of that for me, not having kids, the feast or famine. Either I'm not having kids at all, or if I am a mother, Lord have mercy, I want the finest private schools, okay? Nothing, no public nothings. I don't want no Common Cores around my children. It's gonna be African American private school. It's gonna be this, and that's gonna be nothing but the finest of clothes. It's gonna be nothing.
So you are an extremist in that way. I have a question. Yes. When you see people like Oprah, who are literally the top of the Black media. Shout out to Oprah. Oprah's always shown me love. One day I'm gonna do a whole episode about that.
Yeah, you actually should. That little button and that you should just start. You should just start it off.
No, but like when you see somebody like Oprah, it's almost like you're seeing yourself.
Every step of the way. That Stedman thing is actually
your perfect setup.
Perfect. Yes.
You know what's so funny?
I look at that like, that's me too. And she said a lot of that in her interviews. I think, oh my gosh, thank you, Oprah. for being an example, because they were pressing her in the 90s and 80s. Where is your husband? Where are your children? When are you going to have children? What are you going to do? What about your personal life? Da, 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 da. I think one of her most major things, which is a pay discrimination, was because somebody was getting paid more than her because she didn't have kids in the family.
Yep.
And he had kids in the family. So they used that to like half her salary compared to his.
Yep.
So that's where that
it was a white man as well.
It was, yeah. I wasn't going to say details, but you know what it is. And so I think seeing her take some of those situations she was in and gear into media is crucial. Also, while she was doing that, she was making it clear, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not pressed.
Right.
My career, as you can see, is taking up enough time. And she and a couple of other people too.
So how do you feel about people like Tracee Ellis Ross? Because Tracee Ellis Ross, I don't know if you recognize
Hi, big
this.
sister.
So here's the
Hi,
thing.
Mom.
Tracee Ellis Ross, she recently came out and said that she feels empowered being a single woman by choice.
She actually,
do you
my
think
life
that
is
she,
my own.
But
that's what she said.
No,
my
but,
life
but
is
wait
my
for a second.
own.
I want to ask you this. Like, do you think that people like her might, whether they have the language for it or not, I'm not actually to diagnose her, obviously.
Obviously, I can't.
But you can't diagnose somebody's experience.
No.
But do you think that there's a lot of people like her who might fall in the spectrum and not realize it? Because I know I have a friend that we all thought she was a lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, I don't want to say we. They thought she was a lesbian. One of my friends and I were talking one day, and we were like, we actually think she's asexual. And it was the first time in my life that I had ever found myself looking at someone, and in my gut, I didn't feel they were gay or straight, whatever. I felt more so that they were asexual and hadn't identified it. So I wonder if there are women out there who are gray romantic, who it hits them once a decade, or who are demisexual, where it takes a very specific kind of connection.
Yes.
Who
Definitely.
are going out there trying to battle society and say, just let me do me.
Yes.
And then they're being pushed to like do something other than what they really feel in their hearts.
Now that pressure I felt, not from my family, but the societal pressure.
Right.
And it's not just with children or my sexuality, it's with everything. What do you mean you like rock music? What do you mean you like me? What do you mean you're into different things? What do you mean you like art? There's some type of obvious expectation or inherent bias where you think that black women are supposed to be doing X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and I've been all about the opposite of that. Whatever you thought this was, it's not that. So I think there's a lot of that struggle for black women in general. For me, again, once I explain what I do and once you see what I do, you kind of understand why kids are nice and relationships when I'm in them are nice, but it's just not the way for me. And something that Miss Tracee said, and I love her and I adore her, my life is my own. People keep asking her like, oh, when are you gonna have kids? And what it comes down to is I got one life. And you know, some women, I think she just made a decision. Some women make that decision too. Kids are not for them. It's just their perspective and their life for them to enjoy on their own. I don't think maybe, you know, again, we're not diagnosing anything because she is a queen. She can do whatever she wants to do.
Yeah, Tracee might slide in my DMs and be like, boo, I'm not asexual.
She can do whatever she wants. I love you so much,
She
Tracee.
might not be asexual at all.
You know,
we're just using her as an example.
I think with her, again, like, you know, I got options. We got options.
What's the biggest misconception about being asexual, aromantic, greysexual? What's the biggest misconception about people who identify in that way that you want to relieve us of? Up until you sat down on the couch, I didn't know you liked to smash so much.
Exactly. So that's the number one. Just because I am not immediately attracted to you, just because I'm not like out here in these streets, just because I'm not, you know.
Ooh, shots fired. Look, I used to be in these streets. Okay, you saw I started sipping. I was like,
I'm
look.
sorry. Wait a second. Let me pull shots
Sometimes
back.
the streets are fun.
Okay, but the streets are fun.
Don't knock until you try. I'm just playing.
You know, the streets can be fun. I've seen a lot of fun times. You know what I mean? I've been watching my friend. They have a lot of fun in these streets. But me personally, I'm boring. I'm at the library. I'm not in these streets. I'm at the library. I'm at the concert. But the thing is just because we do not express ourselves sexually with, you know, a lot of people, it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. It is not amazing. I think a lot of why I have amazing sex when I do have sex is because I don't have it a lot. So when I do get it, it's like when you have your cake, right? Okay, so we on a diet, right? 6 weeks, no sweets, no sugars, no nothing. And when you get that, whatever that cake, what is that cake for you? What is that favorite cake for you?
My favorite dessert is
Dessert.
My favorite dessert is chocolate dipped strawberries.
Chocolate dip. Okay, so we can't have. Okay, see, I felt that.
I felt that in my spirit?
Felt that in your soul. I felt that. So we can't have these chocolate covered strawberries for maybe like 3 to 6 weeks because we working now. We getting ready for our training. When you sit down, and it's a nice, clean environment, you relax. You out the shower, you fresh. Your body's tingling. You right. When you eat them, they're like 27 times better because you haven't had them in so long.
So my pushback to that is if I want to make chocolate dipped strawberries, I like to practice making them every weekend so that I make the best chocolate dipped strawberries. I want to make some on Mondays, some on Wednesdays.
some on Fridays.
I'm just going to experiment with my recipe.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again.
Until you get it right. I'm just like, that's okay.
Look,
as you should. Have the strawberries, sis. Have the
strawberries. Look, y'all will never catch me on camera talking about I'm asexual because that would be a lie. I'm built so different.
I know.
But no, I actually agree that when you fast, things do taste better because your palate is heightened by the lack, right?
Yeah.
I think for me, I would be interested to see what kind of guy, if you do end up with someone,
who he is.
This
is going to make it horrible for me to find somebody, by the way.
No, I don't claim that. I rebuke that in the name of everything.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
I need you to. So in this space.
Positivity.
On the
we
teal,
speak
no.
Into
here's the thing. I'm going to do a whole episode on this. The teal couch is not about positive vibes only. I actually think that's a very toxic.
It is. It's
people
not,
who say positive vibes
positive.
only get on my nerves.
Yeah, it's not possible.
Because adversity has taught me some beautiful lessons.
Yeah.
So I actually welcome adversity and the dark side of life.
Adversity brings growth.
Adversity is beautiful and it has its moments. So this is not about positive vibes only. You don't ever have to pretend things are positive.
Okay.
But what I say is when you're spell casting, because you talk with words, or you're casting a spell.
Manifesting.
I want you to cast really beautiful spells. You know what I mean? Don't run from adversity, but when you have a say, I want you to say things that are beautiful.
Oh, so hi, I don't know who you are, nice dude.
Look me in my eyes.
I don't know who you are,
I like
nice
I'm a genie, and the liquid pools that are my eyes. Hit it.
Who? I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're at. I don't know when this is gonna happen. I'm not really pressed for it either. I know you're probably gonna find me.
Damn, girl, you just really should like. I'm not pressed for you.
Again, I'm not. But when it does happen, I hope I find you, and it's great. But again, here comes the gray, because I'm like, I would hope to find him or them one day, but girl, let's get this money.
I can actually taste your apathy.
You can see, wow, you can feel it.
It's actually, there's something beautiful about knowing that it's not for you and owning
freeing.
that.
It's kind of freeing at this point. In this point in my life, it's almost freeing. And it's not that I don't want it. It's just that it's not my
a priority.
Focus. Yeah, it's not. And it's not that I don't enjoy sex or I don't have sex. It's just when I do find somebody, which is every 3 to 5 years, and then I'm stuck in a long-term relationship with them usually. Then there's sexual energy, sexual reciprocation. But other than that,
Do you have a therapist?
Yes, I do.
What does your therapist say about all this?
You know,
Ericka?
this has been great. Thank you for asking, because
I'm
my
so
therapist
curious.
is so fire right now. She's so amazing. So she's the one that started giving me these concepts. Maybe about 2 years ago when I got back from the East Coast, and a horrible breakup, the worst case situation type of situation. And I'm trying to check myself to make sure that it's not the damage that I'm coming from, or like the
I'm happy
scars.
you mentioned that, because there's some people who are going to watch this who are saying you're not asexual, you're just broken. And that's why I intentionally asked about a therapist.
Yes, bring it up, sis.
A lot of people are going to want to dismiss asexuality as just somebody with issues who's running from sex.
So we're doing the shadow work here. We have the therapist, we have the psychiatrist, and I'm very lucky to have the resources to do it. I know a lot of people right now are going through things and they don't have the resources, so I'm hoping that you find a way.
Right.
But for me, my therapist introduced these concepts to me because I was thinking, when she was asking me initially, do you think you're going to date again? I'm like, it's over. It's over for these bitches. It's over for you. I'm done. It's over. And she was trying to make sure that it wasn't rooted in the trauma that I had, major trauma I had just experienced.
Exactly.
So I had to do the work there, and we do the shadow work at all times to make sure that it's not me running from past situations or me. This was always with me. I was always very reluctant to get into relationships because I kind of knew what the fuck it was going to be. I knew some dude was going to do something, it was going to irritate me or something, or I just was apathetic to it.
Right.
I give somebody a chance, And then they start fucking off. And then I'm like, look what the fuck I just say?
Right.
So that's what I was rooted in. You give them a chance and they end up not really doing anything with it anyway. So there's a lot of apathy coming from that as well. And I make sure that I check that route to make sure that it doesn't, affect any dating life that I would have.
Exactly.
Any dating life.
Because if you're only eating cake every 3 to 5 years, it better be some damn good cake.
Oh, girl, it's the tres leches cake with the caramel.
Oh, girl, come back. You left.
Yeah,
come back, Ericka.
So no, it's oh God, and with the little coffee, with the little.
You're having a bakery sex cream.
I'm all the way in Spain right now. I'm in Spain in that little bakery that I was in that one time with that tres leches. Oh my God, it was so good. But that's the thing for me. I just, when I do it, I want it to be quality. I want it to be with somebody I like, maybe love or see, at least not even a future, long-term future, but spending time with.
Question, and this just hit me.
Get into it.
I had a list of questions, but this just came organically. Mm-hmm. When you ask most people, which I have done because I am a provocateur.
Uh-huh. Yes.
When you ask most people, what's your biggest fear in life? Their biggest fear in life is dying alone. But if
we all die alone.
Yeah, but if you have no fear of that solitude because you sometimes find comfort in it. What is your biggest fear then? If it's not dying alone, assuming it's not that. So what is your biggest fear?
We all born alone, die alone. No crew to keep my crown or throne. Nas. Yes, we learned early.
Not random Nas in the middle of the
You have to just Nas it out sometimes.
Yeah, but what is your biggest fear?
I'm sitting in it. I'm trying to, I'm marinating a minute. I'm not scared of death. Maybe more about how you die. I wish that, it would be a peaceful transition for everybody.
So your biggest fear is not having a peaceful transition?
Yeah, not peaceful transition, not accomplishing my goals, not being able to do the things that I said I was going to do, not being able to travel to the places where I want to travel, and I've gotten a lot of them out the way. Accidentally, God brought them to me, working with the people that I want to work with, hitting the brands that I want to do, and building with people, and creating some type of legacy, leaving something,
Yeah, most people use their children and their families and their husbands as legacy. So what would your legacy be?
My children would theoretically have their own legacy. You're your own person. I would never try to, vicariously or say that that's my legacy. You're your own person.
A lot of people do though.
I know. I'm involved, and I hope that kind of dies off, because let your children breathe and grow and do what they want.
So if your husband and your children are not your legacy, what do you want your legacy to be?
A lifetime of music, connecting people, beautiful times, wonderful experiences, fire food, traveling, love and affection, genuineness. That's the type of legacy. When you talk about me, if anything ever happens to me, I want people to be like, oh, she was lit. Oh my gosh, she got me into the Roots Grammy concert. Oh my gosh, she got us into that Travis Scott one. Whoa, she was fired. It was good. I want those. That's what
your legacy is that you were lit.
We were lit. We was lit. We was
having a good ass. Can we toast to your legacy being that you are lit?
Cheers.
I love this.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that our time is up because
now I'm getting into it.
Right?
I was scared and I didn't want to do this, and now I'm like,
this is why I tell people, tell your friends that if Blue slides in your DMs and invites you to Humanized,
go to Humanized. Bring me with you.
Right. This is it's a fun couch conversation.
Thank you for allowing me the space to work through this and talk about this, because I think it's really important, especially for African American women who are kind of over-sexualized in the media by default. Right. You have to remember that that's not for everyone. That is, and it's not bad. I don't want to criticize anybody that's getting it in. You better get it in, sis.
Oh, wait,
you better.
Did she just point at me?
Yeah, I point at you. You better lit a dream for me. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not doing it, but you better lit a dream for me. You better do it and report back, sis. That's what I want.
I am gonna plead the fifth. Yeah. Is there anything from sexual beings, not just me, but just sexual beings in general, is there anything about us that you find interesting, inspiring, or strange? Like,
strange.
Is there no? I'm giving you permission to ask a very sexual person a question that you might not have ever had the chance to ask.
Ooh, there's so many and they're not appropriate for camera, but we
Why
go get it
not?
out. Oh, girl, no. Okay, I'll ask a couple.
Okay, you get two.
Okay.
You get two.
Okay.
Okay, I'm in the hot seat. Okay, and I'm gonna intentionally not crosstalk and wait for you to finish asking.
I don't know.
Okay, hit it.
So
I'm nervous.
Yeah, no. Have you had one night stands?
Yes.
How?
Very well. I've had them very well. Not anymore. In the past 8 weeks, I'm now, trying to get married and stuff. But
we focus, the evolution is happening. But like when you have those, it doesn't really like, nothing is screaming at you like, no. Like,
you know what it is?
Get to know this person. What are you talking about?
No, I don't want to get to know you. So the value back, the value back then of me having one night stands was, there were things, I believe in sexual healing.
Okay.
And there's sexual therapists, like there's sexual surrogates sometimes.
There are.
And there were things that happened to me in my childhood where for survival, I disconnected from my body.
Okay.
And I knew that by being touched and held and fucked, right, it was gonna help me come back into my body. Okay. And that wasn't something that was about having a relationship. It was me working through something through sex, and it was valid for me to work through sex. But I didn't want it to be about a partner. It had to be about me. So in order for me to selfishly work through my traumas through sex, it had to be a one night stand. It had to be someone who I had a connection to, because it was purely selfish.
Purely selfish and
I could not do that to somebody I loved. So for me, it was like, I can't have a selfish sexual encounter if I love you. So let me find somebody who's horny too.
Just one off.
Who's gonna let me
one
do all
off
types
and send
of
them
freaky
home.
shit to them and work through it. And whatever healing I get, that I'll bring to my partner.
You see, my mind is going off. My mind is I'm like,
right? A one night stand can be profound if it's for, like, I've had some profound one night stands.
That's amazing. Wow.
And I have a lot of friends who don't recognize they're doing it, who have told me that. I have one friend who seems to only have lots of sex with people that they're not emotionally attached to. But then when they meet somebody they love, suddenly they become chaste and they like really prudish.
The Madonna Whorish type.
Yeah, but I realized that for this friend, it was because there was things they wanted to learn without being judged.
Okay.
And so they wanted to learn with strangers. And then when they met somebody they liked, they were like, oh, I hope it goes far so I can show you what I learned. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of scenarios where selfish sex has a place. Okay. Especially when it's for healing or experimentation or self-discovery. And that's not meant to be a relationship. Okay. And I discovered a lot about myself through sex that I would never want my partner to be there for.
Wow. Wow.
You were not expecting that, were you? Wow. You thought you was gonna say I was on some whole shit.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be some basic, like, we on some. No, that was profound.
I was an ethical slut when I was doing it.
This is some ethical sluttery. This is some ethical fucking, and this is the type of stuff that I like. Well, I'm not here to like condemn. I cheer it on. This is that right there was beautiful, and that's what I hope. Like,
I made a one night stand beautiful for you.
Yes, you did, because I never. You see me over here, you blew my mind. I've never thought about those concepts, because for me, I want the person that I want to be with is the one I'm working the shit out with. Right. So, and even if I am working the shit out, at that point for me, it is physical and I want to feel things. And also it's an expression of love. So like, again, I can't just one off. I have to really like you. Yeah, there's some
things that I wanted to slay those dragons and then bury them.
And I didn't want
it to be an ongoing conversation with my partner.
And then December 1st was that point where it was like, wow. We were starting.
I'm going to be honest. You know why I think December 1st I became emotionally available? This is where my Latin comes in. I talk really fast when I get excited. That was English, by the way. That was English. Yeah, people always say they don't realize I'm Cuban until I get excited. They're like, there it is. No, I realized the reason why December 1st is when I became emotionally available, sincerely, for the first time ever, was because it was the first time that I'd had a whole year of no heartache, healthy friendships, and I had just given up my house in D.C.
Oh, you got rid of the house.
I got rid of the house November 30th.
Good. Oh,
not a coincidence.
Wow.
So November 30th, I get on the flight.
That's metaphorical, right there.
I get on the flight November 30th. Okay. And I literally see DC behind me
as you're flying
away.
And
it's behind me, more than just figuratively, literally, like behind me in every way.
You're leaving it
and I'm like, every painful thing that used to be my narrative no longer exists. And suddenly I woke up December 1st and my heart like burst open. And I was like, oh, I want a husband and a baby. When the hell did that happen?
And that literally happened. You was on Twitter the next day. He was like, it's time for a husband and a baby. And I was like, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, everybody was like, Blue, you don't even talk about your relationships like that.
Yeah. I was like, girl, this is a transition. But again, I welcome it because I know that's something that you've always wanted. You know what I'm saying?
I always said I wanted. Yeah. It's something that I now actually
are actively going to work towards. And I can't wait for you to find a dude and have your little babies. I'm going to be Auntie Ericka. We come through with all the diapers and stuff.
Is there one more question about super sexual
There
people?
is. I was thinking about it. You know I was over here.
I saw it in your eyes. Last question before we go. Last question from a greysexual / borderline asexual.
Girl, where are the toys at?
Oh, in the bedroom.
Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to have a little introduction session. After the camera wraps, we're going to learn something new today.
You guys, this is the part where we wrap it up. I have no more Pedialyte, so we have to wrap it up.
We got to wrap it up. My tea is low.
I feel so hydrated. Ericka, I want to thank you because we're having fun. We're being boisterous and joking with...
turn down my mic levels. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, there's so many people who are going to watch this, and I cannot stress this enough, who needed this moment to know that it's okay to be who they are. So before I sign off, I just want to thank you for being a vessel for them to see parts of themselves they didn't have a name for until today.
You know,
because it's a powerful thing, right?
Thank you. I want to thank you for giving me a space to really talk about it publicly for the first time ever. Yeah, this is the first time I've really ever talked about this out loud with identifying factors and the knowledge behind me. I want to thank anybody who sees this and me and my funny looking pterodactyl ass, and you connect with me and you're like, yo, I feel the same way too. It's okay, you guys. You don't have to be in relationships. Don't push it. Let it happen naturally for you and do the work. Start reading. Start looking this up. These things are real. Demisexuality, greysexuality forever. And thank you. Blue, come on, sis. This is an amazing. Your transition, this whole thing, you coming to LA. I applaud it. I can't wait to see what you grow into, sis. Let's get it.
I can't wait either.
I can't wait. Let's get it. I don't know where this is going,
but it's going somewhere.
Look at this. We going somewhere with this. Come on, sis.
You guys, I don't want to end this episode. There's so many other.
I know.
You're going to come back.
Part 2. Wow.
Part 2. We're going to do a part 2.
I think we're going to have to do a part 2.
And we're going to get other
yes,
other
we
people
are.
on the spectrum.
Yes, we
and
are.
then have a round table where you can all work it out together.
Yeah,
and I'll
have
just
a
be
good-ass
the horny
time.
toad in the background watching. Until next time, guys, this is Humanized. Please make sure to follow me and Ericka, and there will be links provided underneath this YouTube link where you can see all the resources that Ericka gave me so that you can read up on it yourself. And as always, self-diagnosing is fun, but if you really do think that you are somewhere on the asexual, greysexual spectrum, please look into talking to a therapist. And if you can't afford a therapist, hit up somebody who has like a pro bono.
Yes.
There's some pro bono services.
It's hard when you get into it, but there are services available in California for you if you really need it.
Amen.
I will help you find them because someone helped me find them when I needed them.
Follow Ericka on
you.
Twitter.
We'll find
She's
it.
giving you permission to hit her up about this. Until next time, bye guys.
Bye.